You're not poor because of the economy. You're not struggling because the system is rigged, or because your boss is an idiot, or because you weren't born with a silver spoon. Stop playing the victim. It's embarrassing. You are struggling financially for one simple, brutal reason. Your mindset is microscopic. You have been programmed by the average industrial complex, your school, your parents, conventional wisdom to desire stability. They taught you to keep your head down, be grateful for scraps, and fear ambition. Today, we are going to shatter that programming using the most polarizing case study on the planet. Love him or hate him, you cannot ignore the reality of Donald J. Trump. How does a man face bankruptcy multiple times, relentless media attacks, and total systemic opposition, only to claw his way back not just to wealth, but to the most powerful office in the world twice? It's not luck. It's a specific operating system. It's called the art of thinking big. And right now, your thinking is tiny. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how Trump's specific brand of delusional self-belief is the only cure for your poverty. Let's reframe your vocabulary. The way you define risk and security is exactly why you are broke. You think security is a bi-weekly paycheck. You think risk is asking for a 20% raise or starting a side business. You think arrogance is believing you deserve more than average. You are accepting the wholesale price for your life. Look at how Trump operates. To him, security is having absolute control over his environment. Risk is relying on someone else to feed you. Donald Trump doesn't see reality as a fixed set of rules. He sees reality as a negotiation. When the average person wants a house, they look at what they can afford based on their salary. They think small. When Trump wants a building, he doesn't look at his bank account. He looks at the vision, and then he bends reality, banks, investors, media, until they pay for it. The reframe is this: thinking big is not about dreaming, it's a survival strategy. In a world of massive inflation and AI competition, thinking reasonable is financial suicide. You need to be unreasonable to survive. You think thinking big is risky? Let's look at the math of thinking small. It insults your intelligence. Here is the safe path math that keeps you poor. You work 40 years. You get a 3% raise annually. Real inflation, gas, housing, food, is 8%. Every single year you play it safe, you are mathematically getting poorer. You are losing the game slowly. That's not safety. That's a slow bleed. Now, look at the Trump math. It's the math of asymmetry. Trump wrote years ago, if you're going to be thinking anyway, you might as well think big. This is the mathematical reality of that statement. If you aim for a $50,000 a year goal and succeed, you get $50K. If you aim for a $10 million goal and you fail miserably, you only achieve 10% of your goal, you still hit $1 million. Trump understands that the upside of audacity is infinite, while the downside of mediocrity is guaranteed stagnation. Look at his recent return to power. The math said it was impossible. The experts said it was over. He ignored their math and imposed his own. When you aim impossibly high, even your failures put you further ahead than the average person's successes. Okay, enough theory. How do you apply the Trump blueprint to your life right now? You don't need a small loan of $1 million. You need these 3 tactics. Tactic 1, radical self-promotion. The mindset shift. Stop waiting to be discovered. Trump has never waited for permission to be great. He declared it and then forced the world to agree with him. If you have a small business, stop acting small. If you have a skill, stop charging market rate. Brand yourself as the premier luxury option. You have to believe your own hype before anyone else will. If you don't sell yourself, nobody else is buying. Tactic 2, leverage, OPM, other people's money. Poor people fear debt. Rich people use debt. Trump's entire empire was built on leverage. He uses debt to control massive assets, lets the assets pay off the debt, and keeps the appreciation. How do you do this? Stop using debt to buy liabilities, cars, clothes. Start using debt to buy cash flow real estate, business acquisition. Learn to use the bank's money to build your dream. Tactic 3, weaponized resilience. This is the most important lesson. Trump has faced bankruptcy, public humiliation, and total defeat. What did he do? He didn't hide. He doubled down. The average person hits a roadblock and quits. The think big mindset uses failure as marketing. When you take a massive swing and miss, you don't apologize, you reload. The recent election proved that resilience is a superpower. You can't defeat someone who refuses to accept they are beaten. I can hear your excuses already. The little voice of mediocrity in your head is whispering, but I'm not Donald Trump. I don't have his connections. I'm an introvert. I just want a simple life. This sounds risky. Shut up. You don't need his personality. You need his audacity. You say you want a simple life? There is nothing simple about struggling to pay bills every month. There is nothing safe about being one corporate layoff away from ruin. You are using realism as a disguise for your cowardice. You are afraid to aim high because you are afraid of the fall. You're going to fall anyway. You might as well fall from a height worth climbing. Life is a ruthless game. Right now, you are a pawn sitting on someone else's chessboard, waiting to be sacrificed for their gain. It's time to flip the board. Imagine waking up and realizing your income isn't tied to the hours you work, but to the size of the ideas you execute. Imagine having the power to say no to anyone because you built your own fortress. That level of freedom requires delusion. It requires you to look in the mirror and demand more than the world thinks you are worth. Don't just like this video and go back to scrolling TikTok. That's what poor people do. Right now, take the biggest goal you have for this year and multiply it by 10. Write it down. Look at it. Does it scare you? Good. Now you're starting to think like a winner. Now you're playing the real game. Get to work.